What's up? This is Victor for PhoneArena, and today we're taking a look at the Samsung Galaxy S Duos. At first sight, the Galaxy S Duos seems just like a Galaxy S3 look-alike. It shares the same rounded edge design and the button appearance and the form of the Android flagship for Samsung, and that's how it looks like. But it is also very different. Mostly because of the smaller screen, but also for its thickness, cheap plastic build and much weaker processor. Why did Samsung build it then? Simple. It's the dual SIM functionality. This is a device made for people that want to be available on both networks to save money on carrier bills or for whatever other reason they have. And that puts it in a separate category, those of dual SIM phones. Let's see how it does there. We said the S Duos looks like the S3, so let's illustrate this. Here we have both devices. This dual SIM smaller brother of the S3 has the same genes, the rounded edge look and the similar but not identical single physical button. It looks more raw though, almost like an early prototype. That's because of the very cheap feeling matte plastic and the thicker body. It's not bulky, just thick and plasticky, but lightweight at the same time at just 4.2 ounces. That is definitely not pretty like the S3. Let's take a quick look at the buttons, the ports, and the overall design of this device. On the front you have a 4-inch screen. We'll speak about this in more detail very soon, but first let's take a look at the buttons. Here there is a single physical key that feels very nice to press, very easy. Two capacitive buttons on the bottom side of the device. On the front there are a couple of sensors and a front-facing camera. On the back there is a 5-megapixel camera, which is autofocus one with single LED flash, and the loudspeaker is also on the back. The back cover is easily removable. It's a plastic cover. You can see it peels off just like that. On the side you have here a volume rocker. Then on the right there is the lock key and conveniently placed a micro SD card slot, so you can expand your memory with micro SD cards of up to 32 gigabytes in capacity. On the bottom of the device you have the micro USB charging port and a mic. And on top you have a standard 3.5mm headset jack. This phone comes with a 4-inch TFT LCD WVGA display. Pixel density comes at the healthy 2.35 ppi. Research shows that the human eye makes little difference after a certain number, like it is here, and we're perfectly fine with the resolution. The screen is bright enough for most occasions, but outdoor reflections are still a problem. Viewing angles are good, the colors only slightly wash out when you tilt the device. Just like this. And the capacitive screen responds swiftly to the touch. The handset runs on Android 4.0 iScreen sandwich, and that's a good thing. It comes with the latest Touchwiz from Samsung, and the skin on top of it is pretty simplistic. It's almost the same thing that you've seen on the Galaxy S3 with the nature-inspired UI and even the same watery-like sounds in some places. So what do you get with the Touchwiz UI? First of all, you have plenty of toggles on top of the notification shade right here. You can control your brightness settings, which is a welcome addition. Of course, your music player is right here, your notifications. In addition, you have the percentage indicating how much battery you have left. And in the app drawer, you only see the pages. You don't see the 5 icons from the home screen. Overall, we're pretty happy with the fluid performance of the device despite its mediocre processor. And when you look into its functions, it really stands out with the dual SIM functionality. So let's see what Samsung did and how Android actually handles this. So you go into settings and you have a dedicated SIM card manager menu. Tap into here, and here are all your options. You can select your active SIM card, and that's the SIM card you use to call someone. You can check a couple of options like receive incoming calls while using data. That's a pretty useful option. You can choose which SIM card to use for your cellular data, and you can pick the dual SIM always on option. In the messaging app, for example, you can write a text message, and you have 2 buttons here. You can select whether you want to use the first or second SIM card to send the message. That's pretty useful when you go into the contact applications and you just try to call someone. You use the active SIM card. That's the one that's kind of circled right here. The second SIM card is right now active. You see this 2 number on top of the notification bar, and tap here. You have the first one active. Go back into the phone application and you use this one to call. You want to switch? You can switch again. Of course, the two SIM cards are active and people can call you on both of them while you're just browsing around on your device. The S-Duos is a mid-range device, and that means that some compromises had to be made. The biggest one, of course, is the single-core Snapdragon S1 chip that Samsung is using right here. It comes paired, however, with an impressive amount of memory. You have 768 megabytes of RAM memory. So the quadrant score is definitely here that we see is definitely not impressive. We get around the 2100s, 2000. So that's pretty low, more to the mid-range, to the lower mid-range than to the higher results we've seen. But still, navigating the device feels pretty fluid, mostly because of that pretty large amount of RAM. And the Adreno 200 graphics used here will do for games like Temple Run and Jetpack Joyride. Having Android 4.0 ice cream sandwich on the Galaxy S Duos means you can use almost any browser like Chrome or the built-in default Android browser. And we're showing off the default browser here. You can see just how smooth pinching to zoom in and out is. You can also scroll around effortlessly. So overall, we're pretty happy with the experience on this device. The device doesn't support Adobe Flash, and despite the not so fast processor, we're content with the browsing. It supports 3G and Wi-Fi, Bluetooth is at version 3.0, and rounding up the connectivity package is the 8 GPS chip. This device comes with a 5 megapixel autofocus camera that you can use to shoot pictures, still images, or video at 480p. And this is how the Touchwiz interface for the camera looks like. Have some filters and stuff like that. And if you go into video, you see that you can record at as much as 640 by 480 pixels, and that's a bit low. We're disappointed by the fact that there is no 720p HD video recording on this device. However, it does feature a front-facing camera, and that's a plus. And the image quality itself is not stellar in any way, but if you shoot in a bright sunny day, you see that you get some pretty decent results actually. That's how images look like. Has some problems with the dynamic range, but for the most part, we're pretty content with the level of detail and the accurate colors on this camera. I tried playing a couple of games on the S Duos, and those games that really don't require a very nice graphics card run fairly smooth, and Temple Run is one of the nicer games we've tried. It runs perfectly fine on the device. Won't have any issues playing it. We also tried Jetpack Joyride and the usual stuff like Angry Birds. And the 4-inch screen is really a nice asset to have for gaming. When it comes to the battery capacity, this device features a 15 mAh battery. We didn't have any problems getting through the day on average use, and even more. Talk time is rated at 9 hours on 3G. As a dual SIM device, this is expected to handle a lot of calls. So that's why call quality is of topmost importance. The mic here is of average quality, with our biggest gripe about it being that it picks up a lot of side noise. The earpiece is nice, it's on top right here and pretty loud, but sound could have been clearer. In conclusion, we have to say that this is first and foremost a dual SIM device. If you're looking at single SIM handsets, there is a lot of Android devices to consider, but in the dual SIM market, there is really not that much competition. The closest rivals to the S Duos are the HTC Desire V, coming at virtually the same price, and the more affordable Acer Liquid Gallant Duo. They're both pretty similar. The Gallant Duo is cheaper but doesn't look and feel that well, and the HTC phone is probably the best looking of the bunch, but it comes with the Sense interface on top of Android, and we don't know if you really like this or not, so it's a matter of preference. On its own, the Galaxy S Duos is a very solid mid-ranger. We were disappointed by the lack of 720p video recording and slightly unhappy with the thicker than average body and cheap plastic. On the flip side of things, the device handled itself well with smooth performance for the most part and meeting our expectations in most areas, and this outweighs its cons for the most part. Check out our website phonearena.com for a more detailed review, and as always, thank you for watching.